Hi, and welcome to Education 389, Instructional Approaches to Math. This is an explanation of the Spring 2015 course, the online course. And you are looking at the home page, and I set the home page up so you receive your announcements here. You have tools availability here. You have the link to the library down in the bottom left corner. And this is a very important box. This is Blackboard Help, and I would encourage you to contact Blackboard when you're having issues and you're struggling in either posting or something is wrong and it's not working the way it should be. Please call Blackboard Help. Don't give up. Don't let it deter you from getting your work done because it's important. We use Blackboard throughout this whole course every single week, and you'll need to have it in the best shape possible so you can be as successful as possible. Here are Blackboard's hours. Here is the phone number. They're in the library, so if you're on campus and want to stop in and talk to them, you can do that. Or you can make an appointment and come back, take your computer in. Any of the issues you're having, they should be able to take care of. And down here is something new that I've added this time. This will be where you will find your assignments. These are my courses, but you'll find your assignments here and the grade for that. I have not done that piece before here and added that to the home page, but that will be something in addition to the other tools here you have to help assist you in being successful in this course. And I want you to be successful, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about how you can be successful in this course. We're going to move to the syllabus page. And on this page, you'll find a link to the syllabus, and you'll find that I have pasted, not well, but it's been pasted, the weekly schedule so you'll know what the topic is, what chapters you need to read, and what is the assignment that's due that week. Let's take a look at the syllabus. And at the beginning of the syllabus is my contact information so that you can reach me easily. I try to respond to emails within the day. Sometimes on the weekend it might take me a day, but I try to get back as quickly as I can. So you can email me. You can call me at my office. Here are my office hours when I will be in my office unless I'm at a meeting. And here's my cell, and you can text or call me on my cell. If you text, please leave your name because all I will have is your phone number and I won't know who you are. And if you're going to come in to see me in my office without making an appointment, just call ahead to make sure I'm in my office and not at a meeting, because I do have some meetings Tuesdays and Wednesdays as well. And if you'd like, we can also WebEx, because every student has a free WebEx account. If you don't have yours, you could get that through OIT, through the technology department, and we could set that up so that you can meet individually. We may even try to collectively meet one time this semester using WebEx. It'd be something new I'd like to try. You'll see me trying new technology throughout the semester and offering you opportunities to try new technology. I'm going to walk through the syllabus a little bit. It'll take a little bit of time, but I'll try to go as quickly as possible. But we do have a mission here at the College of Education Organizational Leadership, and it has 4 guiding principles: caring, excellence, leadership, and diversity. We're also NCATE accredited, and that's really important. If you decide to go out of state to do additional schoolwork, you will have all of your courses being able to be passed on to the new school, transferred to the new school. And within 22 states, we have a reciprocal agreement. So it's really important that we are accredited. And we'll also focus on the dispositions of being a teacher, that is, of character, of intellect, and of caring. This is a course that will show you various approaches to math. We will do some math work, but mostly you'll be learning some new approaches and how to teach math effectively to students in elementary and middle school. The goals, the objectives that you can read through at your leisure. The required text is and this text here by Van de Waal, and it's an excellent text. It has lots of ideas and lots of activities in it, and it will be used thoroughly. If you don't use the up-to-date edition, which is the 8th edition, you just have to be aware that the page numbers might be different. You can rent that online. You can go to the bookstore and buy it unbound, which is cheaper than bound, or you can beg, borrow, and steal from some other student that might be there, but you will need it. It is the basis to this course, and you will be using this textbook. Excuse me. The manipulatives kit is also really important because with the core standards in math, teachers are using manipulatives. Maybe you never used manipulatives when you learned math. I didn't, but I guarantee you that we'll be using this kit. Now, if you have access to some manipulatives in a school, perhaps you are a paraprofessional or a teacher assistant, and you can get a hold of manipulatives, by all means, then go ahead and do that. But if you can't, then you either purchase this kit, and I would suggest you purchase it online because it is the least expensive. You can go to the bookstore, but it's a little bit more. They have to make a little bit of a profit, but they're trying to sell it as cheap as they can as well. They aren't getting it at a different or a lower cost than you are online. They pay for it online at the same cost you do, and then they have to pay it for a little bit more to help pay for the shipping and all of that that they have to pay for by having it there. But you can pick it up for your convenience at the bookstore. Now, you might be able to find a student who's had me previously and has an old kit. This is a newer kit, but you can use the old kit. It doesn't have all the manipulatives that we'll be using, but it has most of them in it. And then you'll also need to use this link to go to the Common Core Standards for Mathematics, and you will need to do that because that's what you'll be expected to do in your lesson planning. There may be some other handouts or journal articles that I'll provide you online as well. The recommended texts are great texts, but you don't have to purchase them. If you see them along the way and want to browse through them, by all means do that. The next part of this syllabus is the course assignments. And these are assignments that are above and beyond the work you'll do every week. So every week you'll do about 3 hours, maybe a little bit less, of activities, I call them. And then you will have about 2 hours worth of assignments that will be required almost every single week. So please, please, please plan your week accordingly. If you think you'll be able to get done in one day, then plan the whole day to do that. If not, make sure you map out about 5 hours. And sometimes you have to go back and look at some group work. And we're going to talk a little bit more about what are the requirements each week in an online course, especially this course. But these are some assignments that you will also find in this page here to my left. If you look over to the left on the menu, there will be the same descriptions of these assignments over here where the cursor is, and then you'll find them individually here. And what you will find with them in each of these pages are, first of all, a description. It may be a learning target, and a learning target will tell you what you need to do to get an A or what you need to do to get a B or C. It may be a rubric. I have some rubrics, and that will show you also what it will take to get an A or a B or a C. And then there'll also be some exemplars. And exemplars are work from people, my students previously, that I've had previously, who has let me use their work to show you what it might look like. And your first assignment is the Stars and Wishes. It's a reflective essay. And you are going to write this in a very creative way, sharing your strengths and talents. Those are your stars. Your wishes are your hopes and dreams of what you want in regards to your math skills. It might be to becoming a teacher, or your journey to become a teacher of mathematics, or an elementary school teacher. But it does talk about your math reflection, about your skills and your desires. And you'll need to do that in a very creative way. You just can't write in a paragraph and hand it in to me. Because if you look in the learning target, you'll see that that will not be acceptable for an A or a B paper. This is due week 2, so you need to start thinking about this now. And if you look over on this page here in Stars and Wishes, you will see this assignment and what some of my students have previously done with that assignment. Now, if you are willing, and I'm hoping you'll take me up on this offer, I'd like you to be a part of a study. I am in the process of doing lots of different research, but one of my research is on math anxiety for teachers, for potential teachers, teacher candidates. And so during this semester, there will be 3 other writing prompts that I'm going to ask you to write. And this time it's just a paragraph. The first one's not. That one needs to be more creative. But the next 3, and there'll be different times this semester, and I will alert you to when you need to complete that. And if you will write out the your response to a writing prompt, I'll show you where that is and how you'll do that. You will receive 50 points for participating in the study, and you won't need to complete the teacher interview assignment that's below. So that information is in the research study, which is almost the very last thing down here at the bottom of the screen on the left hand side on that menu. If you click on that, there will be a permission slip. I call it permission slip. It is about a participation statement saying that you're willing to participate, and you do need to copy that off and sign it and scan it and send it back to me so I know, and you then can participate. And I'm hoping all of you will seriously consider this. It's not hard. You won't get a grade on each of your prompts, and you will be totally anonymous. I will never use your name. You may be student 10 or student 12 or student 3, but you will never be a name for the study. That's totally confidential, and it will not require you to have anything to have to redo or anything. You'll just write the response to the prompt and put it in the math research journal, and nobody else will see that but me. Our next assignment will be to create 5 word problems at a particular grade level, and you will see that over here as well, and you'll see what my previous students did to do that. Let's do week 5. Now, once you have that back and they've been corrected and I have given you the permission to go ahead, you can work on the word problem analysis. This is where you're going to select 2 students, hopefully about the age of your problems. So if you did word problems at 3rd grade, you had to get 3rd or 4th graders. I wouldn't try a 2nd grader. They may not have the skills for it unless you have a very bright, gifted 2nd grader who is ahead of the other students who might be able to handle 3rd grade problems. We're not trying to set up an unsuccessful situation for them. We want them to be successful, but we really want you to study them working on these word problems as in observing what do you see in regards to how they solve the problem. How do they respond to you with walking through the problem and explaining what they did, because they do need to explain this to you. And then you're going to analyze that with possibly another student. Sometimes some of my students have used a younger student and an adult. And that's kind of interesting because you'll get to see what the adult's responses are. How do they explain it, if they do explain it? How do they solve the problem compared to how a student nowadays is solving, a younger child is solving the problem? So you're welcome to do that, but at least get 2 students to do that. That's not due to week 12, so you have some time to do that. You'll be creating a literature and math lesson. You're going to use some children's literature, and you're going to locate children's literature and develop it into math and integrate it with a math lesson. Sometimes you can find children's literature that deals with math, but it does not need to deal with math. It can deal with anything, but you have to apply it to teaching a math concept at a particular grade level, and that's of your choosing. Now, so you will design one lesson using this book, and then you're going to create a screencast of your lesson. It could be a Jing, it could be a Snagit, whatever you want to any of those kind of screencast-o-matic. You can use any of those, and then you're going to explain your lesson, and you're going to post both the screencast and the PowerPoint of the book in the literature and math lesson assignment folder. This is due week 6. Your next activity is that you're going to create a presentation for our Family Literacy and Math Conference, which is Saturday, May 2nd, 2015, on campus, on our own main campus. So you and a partner are to design 3 activities of a math topic of your choice in either grades K through 4 or 5 through 8 and you're going to present these activities 2 times at this Family Literacy Math Conferences. So for students, K to 8 will come to your workshop and they'll work with you on these activities. Some parents may come in, and what the object of this is that you find activities that parents can do at home with their kids as well. And your proposal for that is going to be due Monday, March 2nd, and I will provide you some more information. You will see that that is right here. So if you click on that, you'll find some, and I will be adding some more information. So this is a requirement. You must be free that day, Saturday, May 2nd, and most likely I will give you a week where we won't have work to do necessarily, and you will make up for that on Saturday. So you will come on Saturday morning, and your responsibility will be to do 2 workshops. They're the same workshops, but you'll have different students and some parents in that workshop, and then they rotate and they'll go to another workshop, and some others will come into your room. So I will have more explanation for that, but please, please, please keep Saturday, May 2nd open, because you will need to be there to do your presentations. If you have a conflict already, you need to let me know ASAP, because we are planning on all of my students, my math students, to present that day. You will also create a math unit, and that assignment again is over here, and it has all the specifics for that, and I will get into that more as the semester goes on. If you don't participate in the research study, you will need to do a teacher interview, and that can be the teacher that you observe in your field experience, and I'll tell you about that in just a second, or it can be a friend of yours or somebody, a relative, somebody you know who does teach math. Not necessarily math all day, but could be an elementary school teacher that teaches math, or a middle school teacher that teaches math, or a high school teacher that teaches math. You'll have to word process the interview. Make sure you've included some additional information so I can put all of the interviewees' responses into context. And there are some questions that you could use, or you could come up with your own that are over in the teacher interview. I would encourage you not to have to do the teacher interview by participating in the study. I would really love it if you do that. Either you won't have to do the teacher interview. And last but not least, you need to have observed in a math class for at least 15 hours this semester. So you should start as soon as possible. Schedule your time, especially if you work and you need to make sure you have time off to be able to go into a classroom. It can be an elementary, it can be a middle school, it can even be a high school. I prefer you to have elementary, but if you want to mix elementary with high school, that would be great. If you're already a teacher assistant in a classroom, you can't observe math in that classroom. You need to go to another math class. So during your break or during lunchtime, maybe you could go sit in on another class that's doing math at that time. You need to have the teacher sign the field experience log. You need to scan that. You need to create a journal posting your observations. So what you'll do is date the journal, and then you'll write all about what happened during that observation. Did you participate? And if you did, what did you do in that? What was the classroom setup? What were the curricular displays on the wall? What did the teacher do in math? What was her behavior instructionally? How did the students respond? How did the students work? What was their behavior? And I'm not saying behavior like in behavior management, but what kinds of things did the teacher require them to do in response to her instruction? This will be due week 14. And last but not least is our final exam. And this final exam is a portfolio that you should have created in Education 4.7, but if you didn't, that's fine. You'll create it here. You're going to develop a math page. You're going to include all of our assignments, and you're going to also have a reflection for each of those assignments. You're going to add maybe some other information, something off of Blackboard, something you have personally, and then you will actually create a screencast, a video, any of those kind of things that walks us through your portfolio, and you're going to talk a little bit about sharing your strengths and your talents again for creating this website. You're going to maybe put in what was a challenging assignment or a challenging time in this course. What was a course that you're the most proud of, or what part of the course you're most proud of? What assignment are you the most proud of? Which one might reflect you as best, represent you as best as a teacher? And those are the things you'll put in. No more than 5 minutes, and you'll send those to me. You're a link to your portfolio that I can see. So you'll have to make sure you check your sharing options and make sure that I'm included in your sharing options so I can see your portfolio. And then you're also going to share your screencast with me. Now, since this is an online course, the only way I know you're in class or online is when I see that you've done the work. So you'll need to understand that each week is worth 50 points, and you'll need to complete the work, and there will be group work and individual work. Do the group work first, only because you get it out of the way, your group benefits, and you'll get credit. If you wait to the very last day to work on this, your group may have already done all the work and there won't be anything for you to do and you won't get the credit. I give 50 points, and usually there are 3 activities. Sometimes there are 4, but usually there are 3 activities you have to complete, and they're each worth 15 points. If you do all 3 at the same time, I give you the extra 5 points. But you actually end up losing the 5 points if you only do, for instance, 2 of the activities. You'll only get 30. You won't get 35. You could also receive extra credit. I give extra credit whenever I see that you've gone above and beyond the call of duty in regards to working on an assignment. And I love to give extra credit. So you may end up getting a 55 or 60 some weeks, but each week it's worth 50 points. You don't do any work that week, it's a 0. If you decide, oh, I was sick all week and now I have to make it up, you can go back and make it up. I leave it open. But you need to let me know that you've done that first of all, because I won't go back and check myself. And you need to also know that you probably won't get group credit because your group has moved on to the next activity, or the groups will be on the next weekly activity. Here are all of the assignments, the number of points they're worth, and what week they're done. But they're due, excuse me. And this is your grade equivalents for the letter grades, percentages. You'll get a certain number of points, and at the end of the semester I'll tell you what the total is. So please don't get nervous during the semester if you see that your grade is as high as you thought it was, because the number of points here will be 2,000 most likely, but it may be 2,050 points on Blackboard in the grade book, and the 50 points is extra credit, which I have to subtract, or I'll have you subtract from the total, so then you won't have that total and you'll have a better grade. Here is the weekly schedule for this semester again. All right, and I've talked a little bit, if you turn in late work, you may not get full credit. Now let me explain something to you. On Friday at midnight, which is also really, I guess, Saturday, it's between Friday and Saturday, your week will open. And you will have Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That Sunday at 12 o'clock is when all your work has to be done. It's 9 days, and you have actually 2 weekends to work on. So I give you lots of time. I understand that some weekends are really busy, but just remember, if you wait to that second weekend to do your work, and it's Sunday evening and you're working on it, and you realize there's no more group work to be done, all the questions are answered, and you didn't get to chime in and add, that's the issue. So do the group work first. Discipline yourself, schedule yourself so that you do the group work at least one of the first nights, and then you can do your individual work anytime during the week or that weekend. Now, just know you'll have about 3 hours worth of work. It may not be quite 3 hours, but it'll be about that, and you also have about 2 hours worth of assignment to do. Not every week, but most weeks. So you need to make sure you structure your week to understand that it won't be done in a half hour. You can't sit down and blow it off and walk away and say, okay, I'm set. You have to work on it. So you do need to be diligent in regards to how you'll structure your time, because each week consists of 3 sections. There are some readings, some chapters from the textbook. There will be some articles. Your second part will be videos. There will be some PowerPoint presentations that you have to watch. In the beginning, there are like 5 of them that are 5 minutes each. That's 25 minutes right there that you have to watch. And then there are some activities that will involve you either with the readings or with the videos. And you do need to do that. So they're like 3 different folders, and I will open week 1 in just a minute to show you that. So please beware. Online classes sound like you can have lots of flexibility, and you certainly can, but sometimes people forget or time runs out and they don't get things done. Please don't do that. Think about that now and start maintaining good work habits in regards to how you'll get the week done and be successful. And I want you to be successful. And when I'm talking about being successful and success, you can redo assignments. What I will do is you turn in your assignment, I will grade it, and get it back to you. You have a week from the time I send it back to you to resubmit it if you would like a better grade. Now please just don't put something together hastily and send it in thinking, well, if he doesn't like it, then I will get it. I'll have time to do a better grade. Because what happens then, you end up realizing you're finishing working on that assignment and redoing that assignment, and you have another assignment coming up the following week. Sometimes your assignments are back week to week. If you notice them, they're week to week. So you have 1 week to finish an assignment and start the next one. So you really have to be careful about that. You don't want to redo your assignment. So do the best quality job that you can do, and then hopefully you'll end up with the grade that you want for that, and you can move on to the next assignment. It is a fast-paced schedule. 16 weeks will fly by. It may not seem like it at the beginning, but it will be. Here are some university policies: academic honesty, plagiarism. Please don't do that. Give everybody credit for everything that they've done. It makes so much more sense. To be working online is class attendance, and I'll know that you are participating if you are involved and get your work done online. There's some online etiquette you can read through here. And again, I've talked to you about communicating with me, contacting me, and you're welcome to do that. And I try to get back to you as quickly as possible. If you have a disability, just let me know, and I will accommodate accommodate you with that disability. It's not an issue, and we can work that out very nicely. Again, here's the Blackboard Help desk. It's also on the home page. Here are some recommended math websites if you're interested. Here is a list of journals and a bibliography. That is the syllabus. The course calendar doesn't have anything in it yet. I'm having trouble with that course calendar, and I thought it would be more beneficial to you, but it's not at the moment, but hopefully it will be. Your assignments page. Is again a list of all the assignments and when they're due. And this page is very important. This is your lesson modules. You will go to this page to find out what you're doing. Now you see all 15 weeks on my page here, but you will only see week 1. I'm going to. I didn't mean to do that. I wanted to talk about week 1 first. So week 1, if you look at week 1, you will see here that you will have readings, chapters 1 through 3 in a textbook. You'll have videos to watch, the dot and all about mathematics, and some jings. And you will also have to introduce yourself in a blog, complete an interest inventory, and discuss 4 questions. So let's click on week 1, which is the only week you'll see so far. Each week you'll see the new week. Here is the explanation of the course, what you're listening to right now. I have another copy of it here. Here's the explanation for week 1. If you want to hear me talk about week 1, click on this and watch this. The readings this week are to read chapters 1, 2, and 3 in your textbook. There is no folder. That's all the readings there are for this course. If I click on videos and PowerPoint presentation, you will see the dot book, which you'll need to read. It's a cute children's book about a teacher and how she deals with a student who doesn't feel that she has a talent in art. And you're going to apply that to math. Here is the PowerPoint, and then here are some videos that you are to watch in regards to the PowerPoint. You don't need to put the PowerPoint on. You'll see the PowerPoint in the videos, but you will need to watch the videos. And then if we go back to the previous page, this is the folder with the activities in it. If I click on here, I'm going to ask you to post a picture of yourself and introduce yourself and share some information about yourself and put it in the class blog. You're going to create you're going to respond to this interest inventory and put this in your math journal, and you will see mine here. And it is the purpose of an interest inventory is to get to know your students better, so you can develop the relationship you have with your students and maximize that to the potential of really working well with your students. This is the discussion board, and this week there are about 3 or 4 people in your group, and the first 3 people, so if you're the first person on the list, you are to start a thread about this dot book, and then you're to comment. Your colleagues are to comment on how you started it and what you may have asked them a question about it. Then you're going to create 2 objectives with the assistance of your group members and identify the ABCDs of writing objectives to these objectives. You may write additional objectives if you have time. Now, writing objectives for this course is really different than maybe what you've done before. Unless you've had me for social studies, then you'll know that I have this desire that I want you to learn to write them using ABCD. If you're struggling with that, there is information back in the video that you should have watched, but you can also click on this page here, and there's an article about the ABCD format of writing objectives. If you don't write your objectives that way, I will count them off and they will not get full credit for it. So here's a way to practice doing that, working with your peers in your group work. And then you're going to select one of the 4 features of a productive classroom culture from the PowerPoint, and you're going to discuss it as a group. You're going to use the information from the chapters to substantiate your discussion. So that is this week, and you can read about that more, or view that more. You could read about it in the textbook and view it in this explanation of week 1 video. Every week there will be a video to explain the week. Some additional information you need. This is the math journal that you'll write in much of the time. You'll also use a class blog as like this week. There'll also be some wikis that you'll be using, a discussion board like we have this week, and there'll be some group work you'll be working with members of your class here online. These are all the assignments. Here's some contact information about me if you're interested. If you need to learn how to jing videos, there are some tutorials here. And this is the research study. So this takes care of the explanation for this week. I want you to be successful. Stay in contact with me. Communicate with me. Don't get behind, because then you struggle and it's very hard to catch up. Students try to and they can't. So don't let a week go by. Again, it's the utmost importance that you schedule your time so that you can get all of the work done. Make it a priority, because sometimes people think online, oh, I have lots of time all week, and the week runs out, excuse me, and next thing you know, it's almost midnight and you don't have the work done, and you're asking me, can I have an extension? I need 2 more days. I'm like, fine, go for it. What I didn't explain too is that even though you have 9 days, the new week will overlap the old week by a weekend. So for instance, you have from that Friday to all the following week to that following weekend Sunday. Well, the Friday of that second weekend, I open the next week. So if you're all done, you can start that early. And if you're not, you're still finishing up the previous week while I have opened the new week. And that's fine. You just need to know that that's how it moves in this course. If you had me for social studies, it was the very same thing. But if you haven't, that's fine. You'll learn quickly. But I do try to give you 9 days of time to work on this. If you have questions, please, please, please ask me. I am looking forward to working with all of you this semester. I wish you the best, and I'll see you online.